add value to you. I trust that you're going to get one or two things that will bless you in this conference tonight. So let's get started. Lead on, lead on. Well, maybe I should ask us a question. I know there's maybe I should start by apologizing first. I know a couple of people have joined earlier on because they thought the conference started at 6 p.m. So maybe I should just go ahead and ask us a question. How many of us would love to change, would love to see a change of government in our nation? But unfortunately, I can't see you. How many people would love to see a change of government? Or maybe how many of us would like to have a change of career? Maybe you like to change your career, or maybe a change of job, or maybe how many would love to see their line manager changed? I'm sure. I'm sure. Thank you. And thank you, Nika. Thank you so much for that. And how many of us would like a change of status? I mean, I know that all these questions are questions. Thank you, Taco. Thank you. I know these are questions that truly would love to see a change in our lives. And tonight, I believe that the sessions that we have tonight going to add value to us. I'm just gonna try and share my uh, screen with you. So we are Impact, Global Impact. We are here in Vista, and we believe that can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, good. So I've got 40 minutes. So I promise you I'm gonna stay with time. I'm gonna be on time because I know it's Friday evening. But guess what? At the end of these sessions tonight, I'm sure you're gonna be empowered. So we are Global Impact. We thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. And it's our hope and belief that the session tonight is going to add value to us. So the conference is lead on. We hope that at the end of this conference, we'll know what it means to lead on, what I need to do to keep on leading, to keep leading, to keep leading. So I've asked us how many of us would like to change our life or change our career or change our job or change the government. Or I believe that everybody will love a change in one area or the other of their life. But guess what James Allen said? He said, people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Therefore, remain bound. They therefore remain bound. So a lot of people would love to change a lot of things around their life. A lot of people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but they are unwilling to improve themselves. I had a story many years ago of a community that was very dirty. This community was very dirty, and they called the young men in the community to have a strategic meeting on how to clean the community. So these young men just want to spice it up. Let us imagine that they just look for the best hotel in the community. They lodge themselves in the hotel for a 3 days retreat, a weekend of retreat, of strategizing on how to clean their community. So the first day, they were mapping up their strategy. The business analysts were analyzing the cost and everything. The accountant was there was countering their analysis that, look, this is going to cost us too much and everything. And the project managers there were project managing the project. So the first day, they were planning on how to clean the community. The second day, they were there planning, strategizing on how to clean the community. On the third day, an elderly man that has been, watching them from afar, how they were strategizing for 3 days, just walked into the room and said to them, Young men, I could see that for 3 days running, you've been strategizing, planning, managing, and doing all you could to clean the community. May I borrow you my wisdom? May I suggest to you that everybody go back to their various homes, start from your bedroom, clean your bedroom. When you finish your bedroom, move to your living room. When you finish cleaning your living room, move to your compound. When you finish that, whatever is remaining, everybody in the community will join our effort together and we'll clean it. So what we are saying tonight is that if we truly want a change, the change must start from us. If we truly want a change in any area of our life, the change must truly start from us. I was so inspired about a man who was 99 years old in the midst of the pandemic, particularly on the 6th of April. This man just woke up one day with a thought to make a difference. He said to himself, I'm going to create a change. I want to make a difference to my world. I want to create a positive change. An elderly man of 99 years old. And he said to himself, I'm going to raise £1,000 for the healthcare services in my nation. And to raise this £1,000, I'm going to walk the length and breadth of my garden. I want to raise £1,000. I'm talking about, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. So this man, he did not realize how much he's going to raise by just walking in his garden. Captain Tom. He ended up raising 30 million. In fact, they said it's about 39 million pounds that he raised for the nation and for NHS. So whenever we want to make a change or we are crying for a change, the change must start with us. Therefore, to lead on, as a leader, to lead on, we must be committed to developing the change agent within us. We're talking about leading on tonight, and to lead on, therefore, we must develop the change agent within us. Captain Tom woke up one day and said, look, I want to create a change in my world. I'm just going to raise £1,000. See, when we start this journey into changing things in our life, we don't know how far that change can take us. That's the story of Captain Tom. He just wanted to raise £1,000 and he ended up raising 39 million pounds for NHS in United Kingdom. So to lead on, we must develop the change agent within us. We must learn how to create positive change. Now, there's something that people always say to me every time we invite people for leadership conference like this. People always say, well, I'm not a leader. I'm not leading anybody. I'm just leading my life. Well, if you want a change in your life, maybe you are a family person, you want a change in your family. I don't know where you are in the journey of life, wherever you are at and you want a change, the change must start with you. And I'm so excited tonight because in the second session, my brother and friend, Dapo Adeleye, is going to tell us more what it means to be a leader. So our focus in this particular session is to inspire you, encourage you, probably create the hunger, the desire or passion in you to be intentional about creating the change agent that is within you. And of course, to commit to learning how to create positive change. Now, my friends, I appreciate all of you that are on the call tonight, but I want to sound a note of warning that, you see, this conference is for people who want to develop their mind, who want to develop mental strength, who want to take their destiny in their hand. people who doesn't want to remain small, people who believe that there is something big about their life, the people who believe that there is something that they are created for. There's a problem that they are created to solve or to bring solution to. Why are we saying this? Please listen to me carefully, my friends. We live in a rapidly changing world. I mean, COVID-19 has taught us that the way of life will keep changing. And in the business world, there are constant change. And, and as change is now constant, the ability to drive change has become one of the most critical factor of leaders. The ability to drive change. And somebody saying, well, I'm not a leader. I mean, the ability to drive change even in your own personal life. I mean, if you listen to the news, you will see people who are going to redundancy, people who are, how companies are laying off their staff. So you and I must commit to driving change so that we can maximize our potentials. Leaders or individuals that desire to be effective must be change driven. Maybe you are a person, a woman, a man, a boy, a girl, listen to me. Anyone that wants to be effective in their life must be change driven. Even businesses today, they are talking about change driven approaches. In business world, they're talking about change driven approaches. They're talking about using flexibility to control project risks. So we, as people that want to make a mark, that want to make global impact, that want to leave a legacy, must be change driven. And as a leader or as a person, you and I must be able to navigate in the inevitable uncertainty that encompasses change. We must ensure that our people, or whoever we are leading, or maybe I'm leading myself, I must ensure that I am not only able, but also willing to buy into my own personal vision. Let me unpack that area. You see, the first person I'm leading is myself. And it's interesting to know that a lot of people don't even believe in their own personal vision. So I'm trying to suggest, Ross, now that you could be a person leading yourself, you could be an individual leading a set of people. So whether you are a person, the first person you are leading is yourself. As a person, you must believe in your own personal vision. When you believe in your vision, you believe in your dream, you believe in your goals, you will commit yourself to it. And maybe you are a man, a woman, a husband, maybe you are a leader of a team, a leader of an organization. Your people, for them to buy into your vision, we must be able to ensure that our people buy into our vision to create the change that we desire. Therefore, driving change, driving change is to a large extent about emotion, about passion. It's about possessing the ability and techniques to influence and motivate people. Driving change is all about your passion, because the change must start with you. The change must start with me. It's about possessing the ability and the techniques to influence and motivate your people. If I cannot motivate my people when I'm leading a team, then I'm going to fail. If I cannot motivate myself when it comes to my personal dream and ambitions or goals, I'm going to fail. So driving change is all about the possessing the ability, the techniques to motivate myself. You know, in the course of this week, I sat in a room with a group of people and we were talking about depression. You know, until that discussion, because naturally I'm a happy person, I'm sanguine. If you know about temperament, I'm a go-getter, sanguine, happy, making it happen, laughing, happy person. So I don't know what it means not to be motivated. But you know, as I sat in that room with that people, with those my friends, I was, you know, just listening to them. I got to know that some people don't even have the motivation to do certain things in their life. someone in the group, as we're talking, told us that some people have what they call chemical imbalance in their brain. And as a result of this, they have this illness, this bad illness called depression. And as a result of depression, they could not, they just can't be motivated sometimes to do that certain thing in their lives. Sometimes you just read a book or do something. It's not that they don't want to do it, but they just can't do it as a result of that terrible illness. As a result of that terrible illness. So they can't just get themselves motivated. So if somebody has that kind of chemical imbalance, such a person needs to go and see a doctor and seek the help of medicine until they can help themselves and begin to motivate themselves. But now, what we are saying here tonight is that as a leader that is committing to leading himself or leading people on continually, leading on mean leading continually, we must be strategic in creating that change, whether we want to lead ourselves or we want to lead the people. Why? Because human beings are typically resistant to change by nature. Therefore, leading change could be difficult. Leading change could be difficult because human beings are resistant to change. Why are they resistant to change? Number one, people feel awkward and self-conscious doing something new. Whenever you want to do something new, you're telling people you want to change the strategy or you want to change the focus or you want to change the direction. Some people feel, well, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just happy with what I know. People feel awkward as they are self-conscious about the new thing that you're about to start. Another reason why people resist change is because people initially focus on what they will give up. Whenever you want to drive a change, or whenever I want to drive a change, even as a person, whenever I want to do something to grow, I focus on what I'm going to lose. Maybe I love watching movies and I need to study for an exam. I start thinking, oh, I'm going to miss my favorite movie time. So because of that, my body will react to that change that I'm about to drive in my life. So my question to you tonight is that what are you holding on to that is keeping you from embracing something new? What are you holding on to? What am I holding on to that is stopping us? Number three, people are afraid of being ridiculed. A lot of people will not try new things because they are afraid. Oh, I don't want to ridicule myself in public. Guess what? Well, maybe because of my nature again, I'm beginning, I think as a result of growth, I'm beginning to respect people's nature, people temperaments, and people's personality, because there are some things that comes to me naturally. For example, I don't care if you laugh at me because I know that when I'm learning something, you can laugh as you like, but very soon I'm going to become a master. But I've grown to understand that not everybody is like me. So because people are afraid of being ridiculed, they won't embrace change. They won't be part of change. And without change, we cannot grow. And number four, people personalize change and may feel alone in the process of change. That is so true. You may feel alone in the process of change. You see, apart from being a life coach, a speaker with the John Maxwell team, I'm also privileged to be a pastor of a local church. At the end of the first wave of the pandemic, the first lockdown, and the churches were allowed to go back into actual service, I really want our church to go back into actual service. But the moment I cast this vision, I realized that the people are not ready, and I held back. Because as a leader, you must know your people. So after a while, I presented the vision again to the people. We need to go back to actual service. At a point in driving this vision, I felt alone. I felt like I was alone because, I don't blame the people. Everybody felt like, look, I don't want to endanger my life. COVID is out there killing people. So what am I saying tonight? Whenever you are driving change, whether in your life or as a leader of a group of people, change could be personal, and the journey to driving change may make you feel alone. You might feel alone in the process of driving change. Now, tonight, what we really want to focus on in the time we have is to focus on how to become a change agent. I don't want you to be afraid of change, because don't fear change, my friends. Yes, you may lose something good, but when you establish the change, you may also gain something great. So I don't want us to fear change. I want us to become a person, a change agent. I want us to become a change agent. And to become a change agent, we need to go through this cycle that you're seeing on your screen. We must be able to define the change that we want in our life as a person, or you define the change you want in your family as a leader of a family, or you define the change you want in your group that you are leading. Maybe you are a team leader. You define the change you want in your team. After defining the change, you must prepare yourself and the people for the change. How do you do that? You lay out the steps, the journey. You lay it out. This is the journey. Then, after laying out the journey, you must manage the change process. How do you manage the change process? You adjust your priorities. You notify key people. You allow time for acceptance. If you have been following me, you remember I told you a story of how I was, as a pastor, trying to take the church back to actual service, and how I allowed time. I allowed time for acceptance. Then, once you sense that the key people have accepted, or they have bought into your vision, then you head into action. Then after heading into action, you sustain that change by expecting problem. You expect problem because you might feel lonely in the process of the change. You expect problem. Problems are good sometimes. John Maxwell, who is my mentor and coach, wrote a book called Failing Forward. You know, failure is a good thing. When you fail, especially if you can learn from that failure, it's a good thing. So you sustain the change. How do you sustain the change? Always point to the success. Point the people to the success, what you're about to achieve, the goal, the dream, the vision. Point the people to the success and review the change. Always review the change. Review your progress. Review the progress. Review the progress. And the cycle starts again. Once you are established in that change, you define another change and you follow the cycle again. So in the time we have in the next 15 minutes, I'm just going to take us through this process that I've just shown you. I want to show you how to become a change agent. And I'm hoping that this talk will stay with you. I'm hoping that you will draw value from this talk. So how do I become a change agent? Like I showed you in that cycle that I just showed you, in that picture I showed you just now. Number one thing is that we must predetermine the change that is needed. You must predetermine. You need to determine in your heart the change that you want. You must before you start the process of change, you must determine the change that you want, whether as a person in your life, or as a leader of a team, or as a leader of a family. You must determine it. Think through the change you want. And I ask a question here. Do you know the problem you are created to solve? Because the problem you are created to solve will point you in the direction of the change that you are supposed to bring to your world. The problem you are created to solve will point you in the direction of the change you are supposed to bring into your world. Again, I read the story of a man called Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was trained as a lawyer. I believe that during his lifetime, he could say, well, I'm happy where I am. Let me just be working as a lawyer. I'm going to make money. My family is going to be okay. I don't need to stick my neck out. But reading the story of Nelson Mandela, I was told, according to his story, that he was in prison for 27 years. Why was he in prison? Because he was fighting against apartheid in South Africa. Apartheid, they say, is what they call apartness. There's a policy in South Africa at that time that requires Black South Africans to carry identification whenever they are going out. So they must carry like an ID card with them all the time. Also, they must not enter some certain places in their country. There were places they called the black zone, and they were forbidden in entering into interracial relationship, which means as a black person, you cannot marry a white person in South Africa. So Mandela said to himself, I am created to drive this change. This is the reason why I'm alive. And for 27 years, he was in prison for trying to drive this change. How passionate are you about the change you want to drive? How committed are you to the change you desire to drive? No wonder after 27 years, Nelson Mandela came out of prison and he went on to become the president of South Africa. Someone said, the greatest enemy of tomorrow's success is yesterday's success. The greatest enemy of tomorrow's success is yesterday's success. Nelson Mandela could say, well, I'm a lawyer, like I said, I'm trained to be a lawyer. When these black people get into trouble, I will stand for them in the court of law. So I'm going to make my money. I mean, I'm a learned fellow. I don't need to lift my finger. But he recognized the change he was created to drive. Please, my friends, I want to encourage you tonight. You and I must not be complacent and be satisfied with today's success. You not only welcome change, but you must also champion change. So we must champion change. You must champion change. We must champion change. We must champion change. We must champion change. That is how we become a change agent. Let me share one more. We still have 15 more minutes in this session. Number two, I said earlier on, is to become a person of change. Number one is predetermine the change that is needed. Number two, you must lay out your steps. Lay out the steps to your change. Lay out the steps you want to take. A change-driven leader must spend time thinking through the process of change and lay out the blueprint for others to run with. A change-driven, pardon me, I'm having some technical issues with my 1 minute, please. All right. So you must lay out the steps you want to follow to that change. Um, you must spend time thinking through the process of that change. Why is that? Because one is too small to achieve significance. One is too small a number. That is what John Maxwell said. One is too small a number to achieve significance. If we want to do something great in our life, we will need people. So, as a change agent, after I've been able to create a change in my own personal life, and I want to move on to creating change in the community or in the life of other people, I must lay out the steps I must lay out the steps. I must lay out the steps. A change-driven leader must spend time thinking through the process of change and lay out the blueprint for others to run with. The process must be simple. You lay it out. You start by, you start by stating where you are now. This is where we are as a people. This is where we are as a family. This is where I am as a person, as an individual. I lay out where I am, the logical process, steps by steps. This is where I want to be. This is the end point. This is where I am. This is where I want to be. What is the process to get to where I want to get to? It is so important because we live in a logical world, and a lot of people are very logical. You must be able, I must be able to learn to take people through the process even before we start the journey. We must be able to take people through the process even before we start the journey. We must be able to ask questions and give others the opportunity to ask questions, even about the change we're about to drive. We must be able to listen to people's answers and discuss the challenges with them. Where somebody might say, well, uh, so once I have a good idea, I just fly with my idea. Yes, it's true. People do it. But why do you want to take a journey into the dark? Why not take your time to think through your idea and lay down the process so that you have like a blueprint, or you have a navigator that will take you to your destination? So we must be able to lay the process. The blueprint must be simple, concise, easy to read for the people to follow. I hope I'm making sense tonight. Excellent planning often is the difference between success and failure. You and I should do everything possible to set the stage for success. That is the only way we can lead on. That is the only way we can be that great leader that we are created to be. We must be able, we must commit to planning the journey. We don't want to take the journey into the dark. Step by step, lay out the steps and communicate the step to the people. Take, for example, if you want to start a business, we must have a business plan. Your business plan, what does it do? It gives you more in-depth knowledge and understanding of how the business works. Even before you present your business plan, maybe you want to get the money from the bank. Even before you present your business plan to the bank or to any financial institution, your business plan help you yourself on the journey. It helps you. It gives you in-depth knowledge and understanding of how that business works. Your business plan gives you insight. It shows you the areas where you are likely to fail. And if you are a smart person, you quickly work on those areas. It shows you how the business works, while you are bearing in mind the costs of the business. Because the finances or the money that you're going to commit to that business, it's coming from your pocket, and you're going to be liable if the money go down the drain. So we must plan our life the same way we plan a business. We must plan for the team that we are leading the same way we plan a business. And remember, that change starts from me. If I cannot plan my life and lead myself, I will not be able to plan for my family and lead my family. And I will not be able to plan for the team I'm leading or the community I'm leading and lead the community. So the change starts from me. The change starts from me. Let me give us one more step that I've mentioned earlier on, and it is to adjust your priorities. In the process of driving change, priorities might change. We must learn to adjust our priorities. Our priority must align to the goal. And we must be able to determine what priorities must be changed to align to the goal, maybe the goal that I set for myself, or the goal of my team, or the goal of my organization. I must be able to align my priorities to the goal that I set. For example, if I'm driving in the wrong direction, I don't know where you connect to us tonight, where you are tonight. I don't know where you are connecting from, but if I choose to drive towards the north, and by error of judgment, I turn my car towards the south, I think in adjusting my priority, the best thing to do, or what wisdom demand, is that I change direction. Because if I love speed, which I love to drive fast, but I've been lucky to stay within the limit, or maybe I've been lucky not to be caught. I always go 80 miles an hour. God help me. If I love to speed and I'm going in high speed towards the wrong direction, I'm not sure I'm going to get to my destination until I change direction. So what I'm saying tonight is that we must be able to change um, our direction as we are working on our priorities. Oh, I hope this is helping somebody. So if you want to change for the better, we need to revise our priorities to be successful. We need to revise our priorities. We must. It is very important that we revive our priorities. Critical change is made from the inside out and are more difficult to facilitate. I think this is very important. Critical change are made from the inside out and are more difficult to facilitate. Let me say that again. Difficult change is made from inside out and are more difficult to facilitate. Even as a person, as an individual, the change that I desire in my life must come from my inside, and it's difficult. To break an habit is difficult. To change my team is difficult. To change my organization is difficult because the change must start from the inside out. I was reading a book by Jim Collins called Good to Great. And in that book, the Jim Collins and his team, they were talking about companies that make it to great. They said most of these companies, the person that drove the change of greatness in that company was somebody from within the team, not somebody from outside. So the change must come from the inside. The change must come from the inside. And critical change make an impact. When we are able to make this difficult decision of driving change from the inside, we're going to achieve critical change, which will enable us to make impact, undeniable impact, because critical change is made from the inside and critical changes make an impact. Critical change also costs you something in time. It takes time. It will cost you your time. It will cost you your energy. It will cost you your energy. It will cost you resources. It will cost you creativity. It will cost you goodwill. And it will cost you influence. My hope tonight is that everyone hearing me will gain a passion to live their life to the fullest, to maximize their potentials and fulfill destiny. I always remember a man who is late now, the late Dr. Miles Morrow. He said that the weirdest place in the whole world is the cemetery. He said in the cemetery are dreams that are not fulfilled, books that were not written by the authors, plays plays or playlets that were not play out, houses that were not built. I don't know your dream, but I want to suggest to you that to drive this change, it must start from your inside. Let me stop here tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to continue on this journey of creating positive change in my life as a person or on my team. Maybe you are a team leader or you are leading an organization. How do I create positive change? Because until I create this positive change, I cannot succeed in leading the people on. I hope this talk has been a blessing to you tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Tomorrow, I'm going to continue from where I stopped tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's really been a